Seeing none, we'll move to Janell Myhre, representing local governments.
My turn. Can you hear me from here?
No, you need to use a microphone. We are being broadcast.
Can I just get you to restate that last quote at the end there? I want to make sure I understood you correctly.
Yes. No amount of preparedness, response preparedness, has ever prevented a drop of oil from spilling.
Okay.
So with the idea behind that is that you have two functions that are equally important in this program, each being conducted by two different agencies. One is prevention, because
So the key word in that was response preparedness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure I was hearing you. Thank you.
All right. This
Yes.
All right. Good morning, committee members. Thank you for inviting me this morning to speak to you about the local government perspective on oil spill response. These. My name is Janell Myhre, and I currently work for the Bay Area Urban Area Security Initiative, the UWASI management team out of San Francisco Department of Emergency Management. However, today I speak to you as a member of the San Francisco Bay and Delta Area Committee, of which I've been a member for 5-6 years now. I have provided a summary for you that summarizes what I'm going to be talking about. I will summarize from there, so give this to you for more detail. And what I'm going to talk about is the work that we have been able to do after the Costco Busan oil spill. At the time, I worked for the Marin County Office of Emergency Services out of the Marin County Sheriff's Office. I was hired as actually with OSPR local government funds to write the oil spill plan for the county, and 6 days later we had an oil spill. So I want to speak to the work that we were able to do after that spill. And as the oil spill plan writer, I wrote the after action report. And I'm going to refer to the primary tasks identified as critical gaps that we worked on for the next 4 years after that spill happened. The first one is to test and validate improved oil spill response strategies and tactics to protect Bolinas Lagoon, which is a designated wetland of international importance under the 1971 Ramsar Convention. The second is to seek to revise the San Francisco Bay and Delta Area Contingency Plan volunteer policy and to allow the use of volunteers in oil spill shoreline cleanup operations. And the third was to add the position of local government on-scene coordinator as an equal partner to the Oil Spill Unified Command structure. So the first, it was Bolinas Lagoon is a sensitive site, and we wanted to improve and test the protection strategies. Costco Busan oil spill threatened Bolinas Lagoon, and I actually had lived in Bolinas for a number of years and was a community member there. So we understood very clearly in Marin County and at that level the difficult and unique elements of that particular body of water and marine habitat. So very highly sensitive environmental site, many endangered species and protected habitats. There are numerous stakeholders that are engaged in working with protecting and having jurisdiction over that particular area. In Marin County, the Marin County Parks and Open Space is the lead agency there, and we work very closely with them and the OSPR environmental scientists to be able to create the local expertise needed to design and execute a full-scale exercise. And during this full-scale exercise, we tested and validated new response strategies and techniques through an OSPR funded grant that was turned around very quickly at that time. We sought out and brought in swiftwater experts, booming experts, and we created new strategies and validated that with all of our local stakeholders. We trained together for 3 days. There were 24 different agencies that were involved. Everyone worked actually very collaboratively together, and the ultimate new strategies were agreed upon by even local fishermen and the volunteer fire departments, and they are now in place in the area contingency plan and remain today. Additionally, the OSPR equipment trailer grant provided a trailer to the Marin County Parks and Open Space. The Seadrift Homeowners Association has agreed to give a permanent home to the trailer, and so it sits there today. And we were able to update these strategies and change this federal plan within 8 months. On your summary, I provide some images that you can refer to. There are pictures of a number of people in all levels of government working together on this particular exercise, as well as the new strategies that are in place in the area contingency plan on the back. So the next item I want to talk about is volunteers in oil spill response, and not wildlife volunteers. That's taken care of and addressed very well in the Oiled Wildlife Care Network and that plan that OSPR manages. I sat as the co-chair on the area contingency plan, the area committee subcommittee, volunteer subcommittee. We worked to revise the policy to use volunteers during shoreline operations. We had a very multi-agency group of probably 4 or 5 entities throughout the Bay Area, local government, as well as state, federal, and nonprofit environmental partners. We wrote this plan called the Non-Wildlife Volunteer Plan to safely use volunteers in an oil spill and on shoreline and outside of working with marine animals. We coordinated with all levels of government and nonprofits. It took us 2 years, but we worked through the Homeland Security Exercise and Evaluation Program, all of those elements for testing and writing the plan. And the non-wildlife volunteer plan draft was used in Deepwater Horizon, as Tom Cullen alluded to. It managed over 14,000 volunteers during Deepwater Horizon, or helped to manage them. And it is also, the operations in the non-wildlife volunteer plan are also used as examples in the National Response Team's guideline for use of volunteers in oil spill at a national level. And we, to date, train and exercise in the spill exercises every year, and local government is invited to do that with OSPR and the Coast Guard and industry partners throughout these drills. The last thing, the third element, is the local government on-scene coordinator. So this, we sought to add a 4th seat in Unified Command. Local government, it's on the second page of it's on the back of the first page of your handout is a chart you can refer to. Essentially, what we did here is we combined the National Response Framework and the National Contingency Plan operations to work together. State California OES, at the coastal region level, we have a plan called the Regional Emergency Coordination Plan. We coordinate our Bay Area partners together. We choose one person from those ranks to go into Unified Command and represent Bay Area counties' needs and resources. We make response decisions as a full member of Unified Command. The LGOC has very much been welcomed at these oil spill exercises. It was activated during Dubai Star and used as a position. It is exercised often. It's probably exercised 4 to 6 plus times a year in major industry spill drills, as well as smaller ones. And it is also cited in the BP Deepwater Horizon working papers as a possible best practice to use in other areas and throughout the country, and the National Contingency Plan. So in closing, I just would like to summarize that the collaborative work that we have done has not only changed federal plans, it is used in day-to-day oil spill operations, particularly in the Bay Area. It has been used in other areas of the state, down south in L.A., Los Angeles, Long Beach, as well as San Diego. The LGOC and the volunteer plan have been used there, as well as some of the techniques that were identified in Bolinas Lagoon were used in were looked at by Monterey and Humboldt County, who also have very swift water areas to look at there. So this is all because of the partnership between OSPR, the Coast Guard, local governments, our nonprofit, environmental, and volunteer partners, as well as our industry partners. So that's my conclusion, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Great, thank you. Judge Hasbro.
I do have a question. Mr. Cullen raised in relation to the Vessel Opportunity Program questions of health and safety for volunteers. Have you looked at that and considered those things in relation to the efforts that you've made? How have you dealt with that?
Absolutely. That's one of the first things that we looked at, because that was one of the areas that stopped volunteers from working on the shoreline. What we do is follow OSHA standards, and the volunteer plan organizes the operations to identify where we can deploy volunteers safely, and if there is an element of tar balls or some type of oiled substance, we make sure that the training is built into the time frame before we deploy that volunteer. And we also access immediately affiliated volunteers through some of our volunteer groups.
And would there be specialized equipment, equipment like respirators or other things that you would use if there was a potential for just like a professional firefighter obviously would have, so that if they're not put at any personal health risk, or at least reduced health risk?
It's all under the auspices of the actual Oil Unified Command Response, so safety teams would be in place.
So what's your perspective? The question raised earlier was OWCM, and if it was not funded, it didn't provide that coordinating effect and all, what would be the effect locally, do you imagine?
Wow. So from an opinion perspective, and having worked in local government.
Given your experience in working with the coordination, because coordination is a key element for all of this.
So that would be having wildlife managed as well as it is through the Oiled Wildlife Care Network takes it takes that whole element off of local government to work with spontaneous volunteers, and so I think it would be extremely difficult. The public very much responds to what is happening to wildlife, so to have something solid in place there, I think is essential. So I think it would be very difficult to work without it.
Because part of it would then go to the local responses, the organization set up to deal with the wildlife.
Correct.
And you feel that it would be detrimental to that effort to not have that coordinating element there?
With the experience and understanding I have, definitely, because there's such specialized aspects of responding to wildlife, oiled wildlife. Yes, I'd have to defer to someone to really speak to all of that, but it's extremely specialized. The firefighters wouldn't be able to do it.
Great, thank you.